how do you feel about Zion making the playoffs if they can make a splash if they get in?
Zion's gonna have to go on some LeBron shit, like straight up take over 45 a game. It's a hyperbolic narrative. Hyperbole.
The juice, I got the juice. Channel, Chatham's on. Foolies glad I'm home. Even my haters kinda glad I'm home.
What's up, guys? If you guys are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. But in today's video, we got the bro, Will Payne, featuring on the channel. You know, get his take on it. You already know my take, so we're gonna go back and forth and see what it is. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. What's your take on the Marlins getting, I think, almost 17 players and coaches like infected with corona?
I mean, it's gonna happen to somebody, and it makes sense that it was the Miami Marlins. I mean, they're in Florida. That's a hot spot for COVID, and they're not in a bubble. So I mean, but the good thing is, it looks like they can contain it. I mean, a lot of these guys are probably gonna get corona. This is just the nature of the pandemic beast, and hopefully they can isolate and they'll be safe and healthy afterwards. But it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like Rob Manfred has not taken the initiative to put procedures in place for the players and the coaches to be able to feel safe. They just have really just kind of played it by ear. I mean, they're doing tests and all that, but like getting 17 infected is kind of outrageous.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to know before you play a game. That's just, you got to know that.
So now talking NBA hoops, we've seen a couple of the preseason games this past weekend. All the teams are down there. So who are you riding with heading into the playoffs and the regular season, the rest of the regular season?
Well, I'm actually riding with the Miami Heat, and I think they've got youth, they've got veterans, and Bam Adebayo is an emerging superstar along with Jimmy Butler, and you know they were very competitive before the season was interrupted. And they're my sleeper team, but I'm gonna go with the Miami Heat out of the East. I'm gonna go with the Lakers because you can never count out LeBron James. Okay. And I'm gonna go with the Clippers just because they have absurd depth. I mean, once they get all their guys back from these various trips outside the bubble, I mean, they got talent.
Okay. I mean, if you've been watching the channel so far, you know my top 4 teams. I'll link the video in the description. But, yeah, I mean, the Miami Heat, that's an interesting pick. You know, Jimmy Butler, Kendrick Nunn, he's on the ballot for the Rookie of the Year, Tyler Hero. They got some young guns who aren't afraid. Bam Adebayo is a big beast down there. So, yeah, they can make some noise. Who knows? They just lost Justice Winslow, I saw. But he's kind of, you know, he's all right.
He's definitely a patient guy.
Right, yeah, definitely. Lakers, yeah, definitely can. Right, exactly.
Because, I mean, the Pelicans, they're pretty inconsistent. But when they were clicking, they were doing well. And I just don't know how well they're going to click now, considering that he was already been gone for a week already. And now he's back. I mean, it'll just be interesting to see. I mean, really the team that's going to win the title is who's going to be able to adapt the best to a fluid situation and possibly losing players, and who's going to have the best chemistry. I mean, at this point, I would probably, like I said, the Miami Heat, the Lakers with LeBron and AD. I mean, those are my picks right there.
Right. Okay. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I don't know. I mean, none of them have ever played in the playoffs. Like Tyler Hero, none. Who else? Dragic, like Bam Adebayo. Like these guys are all inexperienced except Jimmy. And we all know Jimmy's hard to get along with. So I feel that they could win their first round series. But when they play Milwaukee, like that's going to be tough.
Yeah, definitely going to be tough to get through Milwaukee. I mean, they're probably the favorite, but you know, we'll see what Giannis can do. I mean, if he does what they say he thinks he can be able to do, then, you know, we're definitely going to see them in the finals.
Okay, last question. Who you got for MVP and why?
I'm gonna have to go Giannis. I mean, the fact that his second star is K. Middleton. No disrespect to Chris Middleton. Like, dude can ball, but I mean, when you look at LeBron's co-star is Anthony Davis. Is Chris Middleton Anthony Davis or of that level? I don't know. But I'm gonna have to say Giannis for carrying that team and leading the Bucks to top of the East.
Right, exactly. Like he's going first seed overall with I think he only lost 12 games. I think he's averaging probably the second or third most points, averaging a double-double. I mean, LeBron's leading in what 9 assists a game in the league. But yeah, if he doesn't have a supporting cast, he's not doing that. We saw that last year, and that's why he ended up sitting out. But
yeah, I mean, the MVP don't even matter to me though. Like, what we doing in the playoffs? Are you single-handedly advancing your team rounds that you otherwise would have lost? Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see greatness when it truly matters. Because I mean, they giving out MVPs to anybody that has a good regular season, right? But that's a topic for a different day.
So if Kawhi wins, though, this year, he'll beat LeBron to have 3 championships with 3 different teams. Do you solidify Kawhi as the best player or second best player in the league?
I mean, he's definitely the second best player in the league right now when KD's not healthy. Just because I think KD is – I mean, we've seen what KD can do. But I think for Kawhi is going to be – let's say he wins the championship this year, I think it's going to be, can he keep doing this for another 5, 6, 7 years? I mean, he's been the best in the game for 17 years. Ain't nobody else doing that. Like, let's just keep it a buck.
Yeah, I feel you. It's just interesting because Kawhi, yeah, he's going to have 3 championships with 3 different teams, but he also has the same amount of career points right now as Jeff Teague and Danny Green. So it's interesting.
Exactly.
So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's got to keep doing this. Like if let's say he wins this ring and doesn't win any more championships, he's not better than LeBron. He's not top 10 all time just off of that because you won it with 3 different teams in the player movement era. Like, players are not staying on the same for their whole career. They're hardly staying 2 contracts. And if you're only getting 2 contracts if you're one of these max guys like Steph, Dame, Paul George or something like that. Or you're either too good and you're signing 1-year or 2-year deals like LeBron did when he came back to Cleveland, right? So, I mean, the player movement era is kind of skewing that whole, he won a ring with three different teams. It's like those teams are already built and they just plugged in Kawhi. Like, it's not like he built them from scratch, led them to the promised land. It was just kind of like Kawhi is just like an NBA assassin. You just plug him in, get your chip, and you go to the next team.
I mean, yeah, he's taken out 2 dynasties, like ended them. Every time he's beat them, they disassemble. So it's crazy that
Warriors dynasty was unraveling before they even got to the finals.
It's crazy that that every time he wins a chip, they're disassembling. So,
I mean,
it's just
it's a coincidence.
When you look back on history and you tell the story of Kawhi, you're gonna be like, wow, he wins, then LeBron leaves, then he goes to Toronto, beats KD and the Warriors. Like, even though KD obviously
that's a hyperbolic narrative. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to play with.
Hyperbole. But yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.